People really need to stop trading out keepers. Welcome back to NRL Fantasy Analysis, guys. We're going to do our review of our Friday night games. And we've got the Warriors and the Seagulls, and also the Panthers and the Raiders there. And that statement there, it's got to stop trading out keepers, especially these ones that are in the high 50s to 60s keepers. Like, the amount of people last week I had wanting to trade out Cherry Evans was crazy. Like, he's averaging mid 50s, and coming off his team's obviously playing pretty bad at the moment. And he's coming off playing against some really strong sides. And when he's getting 40-odd against those types of teams with no attacking stats, they're the kind of guys that you want in your side, as a half especially. And in this day and age, with the game moving faster, a lot of these halves are getting more kick meters, they're getting more attacking stats. And for Cherry, he's that kind of guy that's going to get the 70, 80, and then get the 40-odd, get the 90. Like he did this night. There's a couple of people I told to keep him. I think they did, thankfully. But 93, and he's got 60, just over 60 points in base stats, in kick meters and tackles. So anyone that can do that is one of the top guns in the game. And to get a couple of try assists, a field goal at the end, just had a really good game. And those people who are trading out be kicking themselves. So there's a lesson learned. Sean O'Sullivan, he's definitely obviously improved as a player, hasn't he? Like, he was scoring 30s to 40 in his previous time when he was playing with the Broncos, and then comes over here and does really well. He's just doing a bit of everything. You got the tackle breaks, the tackles, the run meters, the kick meters, and then obviously went through and got a line break and try. And that was a really good try at that. So well done if you picked him up this week. You got the 73 and a 57 round average for 57.3 round average. So well done, guys. He's going to be up around that 450k mark after this week. So that prices him in the mid 30s, and he'd have to average sort of 50 from there on to continue making a lot of money. So he might not be a pickup from this week onwards, but I'd imagine a lot of people will be going for him. So well done if you picked him up. Our people squad did this week, which was great. So, but I didn't myself. Just among us, 70. For anyone that has him, really good, big minutes in the 13 role. Schuster's in there with 69, so got to try just off a kick. So to get 60, around 60 points just in in the rest of the game there with a couple of turnover tackles, 34 tackles, 4 tackle breaks, and 91 meters. You're really happy with that, and a 54 average over his 4 games so far. So amazing work for him. He's going to be up in the 480s after this week. So if you haven't got him yet, I think you might have one last chance, especially when he's going to get the dual position in the edge as well in a couple more after one more round. So win round 6 there. So really good for him. Anyone with Roger, like myself, you'd be really happy with his performance with only getting 1 line break assist. So one bit of attacking stat, and that was all. So 260 meters, a couple of turnover tackles, which was cool. Did anyone notice that with the stats, he got the turnover tackle and the try save in that one where he was just sort of like right on the line there, and he dropped it over the line, I think, Jake Trobb. So that's a really interesting stat I haven't seen yet, but that's something that's going to be happening if you're over the line and they drop it, you're going to get the turnover and the try save for a 9-point play. So amazing work for him. If you don't agree with that, fair enough, but I suppose it makes sense. He's actually it's a turnover tackle plus it was a try saver, so you can only do what you can do. Well done to him, and 53 average when you pick him up at a 47 price. Then well done to that. I think a lot of people are trying to get rid of him this week as well. So we talked about as a great pickup, and moving to the number 10 role, his role didn't even change. They didn't have the ball a lot early on, so he didn't make many runs, but it still ended up with 48 tackles, 114 meters in an 80-minute performance. So maybe look to him not playing the 80 next week, but still going to be a great option. To Power and Paseka, both had great games, bunch of attacking stats and plenty of tackles, but not relevant. J Trobb, for anyone who's looking to get rid of him, he picked up 55, which was solid. Murchie was good there at 444k. Got good base stats, 40 tackles, 100 meters, but again, won't be an option at this stage. Josh Alloway with 52. Solid again. Got the starting spot this time in 61 minutes, so well done to him. Lockie Croker, if he kept him for one more week, played the full 80 with Cuss going down sick before the game, but 52 was awesome work for him for 46 tackles for only 1 miss. So well done there. A couple of kicks out of dummy half too, so awesome for Lockie. And we'll make a little bit more cash and get you up closer to around that 400 mark. Cody Nikorima, 51. So if you picked him up a couple of weeks ago, solid score there. Wade Egan still plugging away around that 49 average. So he's someone that's going to start to peak fairly soon. If he keeps up his 48 average, he's got about 100k to make. around that 650 mark will be solid for him. But Foran, yep. Leeson Armour, 39 in his 51 minutes, so the PPM was down a fair bit this week, which is okay signs, especially when he had no demerits. So only the 78 metres gained and 28 tackles with a turnover tackle for his 39. So if you picked him up this week, you're not completely upset, but when we'll talk about in the next game when Spencer Leniu comes out and gets 44 and scores more than Armour, you're probably a little bit annoyed, but he'll still do well going forward. It shows that some of these guys that when they come off the bench, they have a little bit more punch when they're some of the guys that they're a bit tired and they can get a few tackle breaks when they've got a bit more energy and stuff like that. So something to think about there. Eli Katoa is just burning cash at the moment. Pompey, Momalo. Also got Fusatua, 25, so one of his highest scores of the year. And poor Dylan Walker at the end. So got his pants pulled down. Got the biggest wedgie I've seen in a while. There's a couple of good memes I've seen on a couple of the Facebook groups too. But there you go. Walker there with 14, so he's got to go now. And Saab got a nice long-range try. Obviously didn't get run meters for it, just had to place it down. But other than that, a delightful 10 points. So 18 in total for Saab. So there you go. There you go, guys. That's our first game. If you're enjoying these, please hit like, please hit subscribe, and we'll move to the next one. All right, can we have a rant? It's time to rant. The amount of people in these group chats and stuff that are saying that unicorn points. Well, they're just giving Cleary points. He doesn't actually do everything that he and he's getting 18 points overnight. All this sort of stuff. Think about the amount of things he does on the park. Right, you saw what happened with Cherry Evans. He got 93 without doing a crazy amount. It was just in base stats. And look, he's got 150 meters gained, Cleary. 70, 80 of it was the runaway try. And then the rest is just in his normal play, which the majority of halves are getting. He's got 547 kick meters, 2 kick defusals, 2 forced dropouts, 17 tackles, 2 tackle breaks, 5 goals, a try, 3 turnover tackles. It's just done a bit of everything, and that's what gets you to 93. So, and you look and you go, okay, well, Cleary, 3 turnover tackles. That's crazy. He's not that good a defender. Okay, look at Whiten. He's got 3 turnover tackles as well. Yeah, it's very normal. And I think they're counting the turnover tackles when you're driving a player over the sideline. So Cleary had a couple of them too. So the people that are just complaining about this, they're doing that because they don't own him at the moment. And sometimes the refs will get it wrong. Sorry, the refs will get it wrong. The scorers, what do you call them? Foul hub, but they'll get it wrong in terms of there's McCulloch try assists here and there that might not be picked up. The odd tackle and stuff like that might not be picked up, but just think of it, they're the same as the refs. That everyone's going to get something wrong, but to say that they're getting 15 to 20 points just magically is completely stupid. So please don't do that anymore. Anyone in the Discord group that's complaining about that, I think they need the boot. Anyway, Whiten 77. So good to see him scoring well again after averaging high 40s. A bunch of people probably would have traded him out at this stage. Jerome Luai, another great game, doing everything. One of the greater players at the moment and should be up in the Dally M race at this stage. Fisher Harris with 57, so just above his average currently. Papali'i with 54, and this is kind of where he's going to average again, same as last year, that low 50s. Hudson Young got a line break and a couple of tackle breaks there to add to his sort of decent base, but 5 missed tackles cost him from getting up near a 60 this week. But it's really, really happy if you've got him in your side. Brian To'o, 52, really good efforts from him. Just a bit of everything again, 250 metres, 6 tackle breaks and a line break. So awesome work, can't complain there. Ryan Sutton, if you brought him in, got a solid effort out of him, but that 47 minutes will be pretty normal for him. And that PPM is obviously pretty crazy at the moment with 3 turnover tackles this game. So expect scores in the 40s, and when he's priced at 600, that's mid to high 40s already. So I wouldn't expect him to make too much more cash from here. Mitch Kenny with another 50, so a very slow burn cash cow who can score well for you at the same time, so happy with that. Momirovski keeps putting his case forward as being a keeper. What we've worked out is he loves the sideways run. Very easy to get his tackle breaks there. And he's got a little just ducking out of tackles, which picks him up the extra tackle bust there. So 150 metres, 2 turnover tackles, which won't be normal, but 6 tackle breaks, and then the odd attacking stats this week. It was a try assist, line break assist. Other games it might be him scoring a try. So very much turning into a keeper level player, especially with how good the Panthers are playing. Like very much easier. You can see with Gagai and Graham, these types of guys. Momirovski, Burton on the other side, all doing really well in the teams that are going strong, and makes complete sense. Same with the Roosters, for example. Storm's a little bit different. They do a lot of their work through the middle, and their guys, let's just say that their wingers aren't as hard working out of trouble, a little bit more flair, I'd say. But yeah, there you go. Isaiah Yeo, 45 in his 62 minutes, so dropping down a little bit. Be interesting to see what price he ends up finishing at. Bottoming out. If he gets somewhere in the mid 600s, he could be an interesting option. Spencer got an awesome line break, which picked him up 44 points, and obviously some big meters. So 200 meters in 25 minutes is incredible. When one of the runs is about 60, so the rest is 140 there. Only 10 tackles for 25 minutes are crazy. So 44 points makes him increase his price to get him up in the 400, around the 400 mark, which will be great, and hopefully spur on a little bit more of his price rises. That 35.8 average will sit him up around that 500k mark if he holds that 35. But if he goes down in some scores, then he'll bottom out somewhere in the mid 400s. But still got some room to grow there. All right, Georgie Williams, and another lower week this week with 43, so still a hold if you've got him. Charlie Staines finally scored a couple of tries, but it's still annoying when you score 2 tries and only get 41, so definitely not an option. But if you hold him this week, you got out of it okay. Sebastian Kris keeps doing well, doesn't he? Another 41. Does have a total of 30, average of 30, obviously with his head knock going off early one of those games. Burton with a lower score of 37, so good. Keep his score down, his price down. Hodgson with 36. Just shows what happens when you're that type of player, like a decent player, but he's only gained 40k and probably going to lose a little bit in value this week. So that's the talk there. Croker, a lot of people are thinking about Croker, and I just don't think he has the tackle breaking ability that he once had, and his tackles aren't as high, along with his run meters too. So I don't think he's a great option in your centers. Would be safe at like around high 20s to 30, but that's not what you want in the centers. So we got Tessie New for Ryan James, Whitehead, Capewell. All right. Whitehead, no one really needs to worry about him, but James is what I expected PPM to drop a little bit. Obviously, he went off early and came back, but those minutes are still pretty high and PPM's down. So expect more of that from James, unfortunately, even though he's playing well. Capewell with 32, so played the 70 minutes, and we're talking about him having a better game against some of the better teams. And right now, I think what you're expecting from him is up and down. So the 60 and the 30 odd puts him in around that 45 average, which is not keeper level. And if you can downgrade him to someone doing just as well as him and can make some cash, or you can upgrade, I think it's probably worth trading him this week. Just not getting 80 every week, and just doesn't have the run meters that you would hope, which would get some of those attacking stats. Like if he's 60 run meters, it's not enough. And then kick out this week, back to normal. Unfortunately for him, he's going to be dominant against some of the bigger teams. Against some of the easier teams, and then not as dominant against the better teams in Raiders. And they've played 4 really fairly easy teams those first 4 games, the Panthers. So that's what happens sometimes. He even had a really good line break too, which got him a crap load of meters, but only had like 5 or 6 runs. So that ends up with the 31. He's definitely a hold, but if you brought him in this week, that's kind of what you would have been expecting, the up and down nature. Crichton with 30 at the back with a try assist, so just okay. He's pretty much scoring exactly what he was in centre at fullback, so he's definitely going to be a sell at some point. You can keep him for a bit, but you're not excited with what's happening at the moment. Joseph Tarpany, if you held him this long through the injury, he comes back with 41 minutes and 29, so a little bit annoying. And to me, I personally don't think he's a keeper. I know a lot of people in the community do, but to me, I don't think he is. So, and that's not just based off the 29, because he just doesn't get enough minutes. He gets 50 minutes, and can he score 55 every week? Can he get a PPM of 1 to 1.03 or something like that? I don't think he can. Liam Martin's dropping some nice cash. If there's an injury in to Capewell or Kickout, for example, and he starts getting 80 minutes, I think he'll be a cool option around that low 400s hopefully soon. All right, Jordy Rapana ends up with 25, so a little bit annoying for anyone who picked him up. A lot of people were talking him up this week. Did well last week, not as well this week. Had to move to the fullback position, and when things change like that, it doesn't turn out as well. And obviously, we're playing the Panthers, and in a tougher week, a tougher game for him. Just didn't get the tackle breaks or the attacking stats that he would have got in other weeks. So again, a hold. but hopefully he bounces back next week. Simonson doing his thing at 25, and we haven't, Leota there with 17 after a decent week last week, so got to sell him. And Nickel Clockstar, 5 in his 23 minutes. So there you go, guys. That's the breakdown of those two games. A lot of I'm personally going pretty well at this stage of the round. How are you guys going? Let me know in the comments. And said if you're enjoying this, please hit like, hit subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you in the next one, team. Have a good day.